How's it going, everybody? This is AfroDJMac, and I'm pretty excited to show you the Elektron Analog Heat. I just want to take you through some of the different sounds you can get out of this. Right now I'm going to bypass it by pressing the active switch so we can hear what my patch sounds like. And you'll notice this is just a pure sine wave operator patch. Absolutely nothing else going on but the sine wave. It's a very pure signal, and I thought this would be a good example to use because we can see how such a clean sound is dirtied up with this really awesome analog distortion that the analog heat is. So I'm going to just stop this for a second, and we'll just play a note, maybe my C, and I've got my spectrum open on my EQ8 so you can see what's happening as I turn things on. Right now we're just in the clean boost. It's a very subtle thing. I'm going to add some drive. And you'll notice we are getting little bits of harmonics right here that we normally do not have with our operator. So it's adding a little bit of color that way. I'm going to pull the drive back. And we'll go now to say saturation. And you'll notice there's even more color in our harmonics up here. And essentially, the further we go along, the more of these harmonics start showing up. And now, this enhancement setting is one of our distortion circuits. Gives a really nice crunch. Starts to become a little more obvious here. And as I turn up my gain, I can get something much more harmonically rich. And again, this is really evident in the frequency spectrum right here, where we can see all of this different action going on with disable the heat, and that all goes away. So this is just color. You can use this for sound design so nicely without even touching your synth patches. Now, another thing that's kind of cool about this is the filter that they've built in. And right now I've got it set to low pass, and I'll just sweep away some of those upper harmonics that I've built in with the distortion. So our filter is after the distortion. Bring them back in. We can crank up the resonance a little. And I think it's a really musical sounding filter. Got nice character to it. You can switch that to one of the different settings, of which there are 7 of these different filters. We can alternate through them with these two buttons. We can go to a band pass. We really get some screeching out of that with the resonance. It seems to be a self-oscillating filter too. I'm not even playing any notes, but I'm getting sound out of it. Which this could be pretty cool on its own, just as a fun sound design tool. Crank this back a little. We can hear the high pass filter. So a really cool filter. I'm going to put it back to low pass. Open it all the way. And just drop the resonance a little bit so we can listen a little more to the sounds. There's, of course, a lot of other features which I'll get into in the future, but right now I just want you to kind of listen and just hear what we can do to our sounds by going through the different units of distortion. So what I notice about this particular one is it's really, as it says, driving the mids. Our low frequencies tend to be kind of unaffected, but as I get to more mid-range frequencies, we hear a little more distortion. So that's kind of cool because it keeps your low end. If you've got headphones or good speakers, you can hear this extremely low sine wave. That stays intact. It's not really disrupted too much by the distortion. Moving along. we're gonna go to the rough crunch. Really nice sounds. Classic distortion. Round fuzz is a really hefty distortion right here. That's with it off again. This is high gain. And bring it back to something a little more subtle. Sounds really nice. So first impressions of the Analog Heat, I love it. It's so great. I love dirtying up my sounds, and this is a really nice quality distortion with a lot of variety, for everything from just a subtle saturation. And I'll deactivate it. Nice how you can just easily deactivate this. Turn it back on, and we just get nice little extra crunch in there. And having the filter as well is really handy. We'll be back more pretty soon with some more videos and demonstrations of the Elektron Analog Heat. Take care.